Hey, what's going on guys? I'm Dr. P and welcome back today for another Fortnite video. Now, in today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about the new wizard skins and the portals in Wailing Woods. I talked a little bit about them yesterday, but I have a little bit more information here to hopefully spread a little bit more clarity on it. So if you guys could do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe to the channel, that'd be much appreciated. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So there's a new emote that got added to Fortnite yesterday called Llama Cadabra. It's obviously a magical sounding word to play on the word abracadabra, so very easily you know it relates to those wizard skins. The interesting thing about this emote is there's a wand that's used to summon a bunch of different llamas that dance around until they are eventually all sucked back up by a rift, literally a rift. The whole theory that everyone is taken away from these portals, the new portals underneath Wailing Woods, is that, the scientists or the wizards or whoever is down there and running that lab has mastered the art of rift making and developing portals, because clearly, if you look at it, the rifts, the ones that have been here the whole time, the one that's underneath Wailing Woods and that's being studied, those kind of rifts basically put you up into the air, and it's kind of random where you go. But with these new portals, they look to be much more organized and controlled. That's the important part. You can effectively control where anyone is going to go when they step in through any given portal. The main areas that the portals underneath Wailing, the new ones that is, will teleport you to are, different areas of the lab and even the cabins that are on the outskirts of Wailing Woods. As if it wasn't already evident enough, Epic Games put out a teaser earlier today about the new Llama Cadabra skin, and basically in the background you can see both of the wizards, Elmira and Castor, sitting over a cauldron with their wands in the air, performing this Llama Cadabra emote. At this point, all the evidence is, truthfully overwhelming, and I really believe these wizards are responsible for the portals underneath Wailing Woods. It all just makes too much sense with the timing of the portals being added, and then the wizard skins being added, and then him also being, from Wailing Woods. And now this emote comes out, which demonstrates mastery of the portals. I mean, they're literally summoning random llamas and then just teleporting them back away on command. So I feel like all the evidence, at least for them mastering, how to use a rift, seems to be very, very overwhelming. And at this point, it's what I'd have to place my bet on. Now, there's one more thing, and I think it's extremely interesting to help kind of uncover the identity and the, intentions behind these wizards. Are they dark? Are they good? I don't know. I think this might help out a little bit, though. If you look at the Llama Cadabra emote, obviously, they're summoning llamas that dance around and then they teleport them away using a rift and magic, but that's not the important part for this point I'm about to make. The llamas themselves are the focal point. They look identical to the llamas portrayed on the Dark Bomber's shirt. Mind blown, right? So now if we consider the fact that these witches, these mages, Castor and Elmira, are summoning dark llamas, what does that mean? Well, to understand what the dark llamas might mean, let's look at the skin associated with it. So the Dark Bomber, what do we know about her? Well, she's the evil version of the Bright Bomber, which is obviously a pretty well-renowned skin in Fortnite. The Dark Bomber is part of an alternate reality where Bright Bomber turned evil, so you can see even in the cube's reflection for one of the Season 5 loading screens, it was the first time we met the Dark Bomber. She obviously eventually turned into a skin, and one can assume that she was created or at least brought to the world by Kevin the Cube, and obviously we know Kevin's intentions were evil. He was an evil, evil cube, so obviously Dark Bomber falls along in those lines too. She's evil. Now, the llamas, just by being associated with the Dark Bomber, are guilty by association, and I'm gonna bet the house that they're evil too. They're evil versions of loot llamas or whatever, but you can clearly see they have horns and they're red, so I'm gonna go ahead and bet they're evil. So what's the motivation for those wizard skins to randomly just form a bunch of evil looking llamas and creepy looking things just to teleport them away for a second? Maybe it's possible they're simply showing off that they can, control teleportation. They're simply showing that they have mastered the ability, which, if that were the case, props. I mean, you did a good job. Or maybe it's possible that they are just evil people. I mean, I don't see anything that should make us assume they are good people. I mean, naturally, there have been more, good guys than villains in Fortnite's storyline, but they could very easily be evil, and when you consider they're summoning these creepy evil llamas, I feel like that's pretty big, especially if you consider Kevin the Cube was an extremely evil being, and Kevin brought out the worst in a lot of people and probably even got to the Bright Bomber, as evidenced by that loading screen. Right now we're in that weird area where there's nothing huge going on in the game, like nothing as big as the Cube event a couple weeks ago. When that ended, we thought that was basically turning into a new chapter of Fortnite, because the past 3 months or so before that, even longer than that really, had been about the Cube, and everyone had been wondering what the Cube was doing. But now that the Cube finally exploded, for one, I personally thought that we were turning the page into a new storyline and we would find out what happened. Well, maybe these mages are simply carrying out the remainder of Kevin's task. If the Cube was responsible for creating the Dark Bomber, and the Dark Bomber, had these weird llamas, now that we're seeing these llamas in the game again, even for just a little bit, even if it's only a slight reference, I wonder if somehow, some way, Kevin the Cube is still at work. I mean, Donald Mustard did tweet out that the Cube event itself was the end of simply the beginning, so if we only ended the beginning, we still have the middle and the end. Come on, all English students know that. I feel like what we're in right now is an area of fake tranquility. I mean, the island seems to be at peace for the most part. For as far as we know, Kevin the Cube, who was the main antagonist of the entire past season and a half, is gone. There's even a nice little rainbow over Leaky Lake, trying to symbolize peace. I don't think it will last long. For me, this whole situation is very similar to being in the eye of the storm. You just went through hell, and now it's over. You think you're done, but you don't even know you're in the eye until it passes. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Subscribe for the latest Fortnite news and information, and I will catch you later.